Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sharon. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not subscribed, thank you so much for joining me today. As you can tell by the title of the video, I am going to be getting ready with you guys and also sharing a story about how I got accused of dating a married man at 16. If you're interested in hearing all about it, please do continue watching. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and let's get started. So I've already done my eyebrows. I just need to blend out the concealer and let's just get right into the story. So a little backstory. This guy, what should we call him? I have rice on my mind. Let's call him Varais. So Varais was almost like he was my dad's friend. They used to work together before my dad retired. And then somehow we just became close. Their family and my family, we just sort of became close. We would go to their house, they would come to our house as well. But then at that time my dad had just retired. He was not feeling well, so he needed some papers signed at his former workplace, which is where Mr. Rice was still working. So he needed these papers to be signed so that he could get his medical aid processed. But because he wasn't feeling well, and it wasn't really like something serious that I couldn't really do at the time. Mind you, at the time, I think I was on my long holiday for Form 4. I did my Form 4 in 2008, 2007, end of 2007. So this happened end of 2007. So I was just going to collect the papers. Mr. Rice was going to help me, so it wasn't really a big deal. We lived in the same neighborhood. He was going to give me a lift to the workplace. Once we get to the workplace, he would then assist me in getting the papers, and then I would get lifts back home. And I thought it was okay, it was fine, because I was old enough, I could move around by myself. I actually thought that after this, then I would go get into town, do some things, and then go back home later. So yeah, the next day, we planned all of this, say today. The next day, I bathed, got ready. I was really excited because you would usually leave early, around 6. I'm just choosing this primer. You would leave early around 6, so I was already done by 6 o'clock, and their house was 5 minutes away from our home. I got ready and then I rushed there, and then when I got there, he was already reversing out of his house on his way to work. So I caught him just in time. He knew I was coming and he knew what he was supposed to assist me with. My dad had already discussed everything with him. I was just going with him because we lived in the same neighborhood. We were going to the same place, and he was going to assist me. And like I said, it wasn't really anything big. I could have done it myself, but it was just convenient for him to take me with him. So we went. Before we left, he was, like I said earlier, he was already reversing his car. I got into the car. He rushed back into his house, I think, to grab something, and then he reversed, and then we left. We were on our way. The company was in Masasa Industrial. So we are on our way to Masasa. We are listening to radio, just talking. I think at the time he was 45, somewhere there, 43, 45, I think. So he was quite older than me. We drove to the workplace, and just, I think 10 minutes before we got to Masasa, his phone started ringing. He didn't pick up because he said, I'll call back. It's my rice. My rice was now calling. He said, I'll call her back because when I'm driving, I don't want to pick up my phone. My rice kept calling. He had to pick up. So he turned down the volume of the radio. I'm on the other hand, I'm sitting on the other end of the car, and I hear a woman shouting. She was shouting, but I couldn't really hear what she was saying. So this guy is not sure how to respond, because I'm sure he didn't want me to hear what was going on. He's like, no, my rice, I'll call you when I get to work. It's not that. He hangs up. She calls again. She starts shouting. He hangs up the phone. We get to the workplace. He goes with me to the HR guys. They assist me. And then I see him talking to this guy. I think that was my dad's former boss. And so he was talking to this guy. I don't know what they were talking about. Once I was done with the HR guys, I got the papers and I went to him and I said, no, I got the papers. I'm leaving. She goes, no, you can't go. I said, well, we have to go back home because my rice thinks that I had a girlfriend in the car that I was taking somewhere. A girlfriend? But I didn't understand what he meant, because a girlfriend? Who's the girlfriend? I'm not the girlfriend. And at the time, I was a child. I didn't even look at men like that. So I'm just like, I want to go to town because I have things to do in town. I'm 16, I'm excited. And you know what? I remember what I was wearing. I had this matching set, a white t-shirt which had like a roses on the shoulder, which were embroidered in maroon. And then I had like my hipster pants. They were like, white legged pants, those ones. They were maroon matching with the roses on the shoulder. I was looking nice and I was ready to go to town, to mingle and do whatever. When you're young, you're just excited about anything. And I was really excited to get out of the house because my parents were really strict. We were not even allowed to like go to town for no reason, or to have, friends come, male friends. Girls, they were allowed, but males, no. You would have to be either related to us or be a family friend or whatever. So my parents were really strict. So on this day I was just like, after Masasa, I'm getting into town and I want to go see this and that. And then Mr. Rice says, no, we have to go back home because my Rice thinks I have a girlfriend in the car. How is that my problem? I did not understand. But anyway, we get into the car, we go back. So he starts explaining everything to me. My Rice thinks that ndatakura girlfriend yangu Maxieni tikaenda kutown. I think she saw you pawapinda motor, but they really didn't see you. Kutiji, it's Sharon. So she was just really furious. So we had to go back. We went back. So in my mind, there are a lot of things going on. I'm thinking, what if she starts hitting me? What if she attacks me? Or what if she saw that it was me, but she was just suspecting that I was dating her man? And I was not. I was young. I didn't even have a boyfriend at the time. Like, I was so innocent. I'm still am. So we drive, we go back. So he parks, we get to their house. He parks by the driveway side. I could tell that he was really stressed, but then he couldn't really tell me anything because, well. And then the other thing, I also noticed that there were pegged like by the veranda, because there wasn't that much distance from the driveway to their entrance. And then they had like a veranda there, and there were bags pegged right by the veranda. So he goes into the house. There was like quietness for a bit, and then I started hearing people shouting and people arguing. So again, please not. My Rice was staying with a couple of her sisters at this house, and I was scared that they would come for me. So I was just ready. If anything was going to go down, they were not going to catch me. So one of the sisters peeped through the window to see if I was in the car. She saw me in the car. The other one came through by the door. Akandilongora saw me in the car. I was ready. I was mentally preparing my mind that if I see one foot walking towards me, I am jumping out of the car. I am running, and best believe they were not going to catch me. So there I was sitting in the car, people shouting, yada, yada, what. And I think that went on for like 10 minutes or so. I'm just sitting in the car waiting, and then he comes back. He says, we have to go to your house. I have to go and get your parents. We get into the car, we drive to our house. Like I said, it was 5 minutes. away. We get to our house, and then he explains everything to my parents. Mind you, my parents were so strict, we didn't have time to get out of the house or just walk around in the neighborhood. We didn't do that. Our gate was always locked. If you were sent somewhere, you were supposed to come back early. Don't waste time, because they didn't like any of that. They always said you have to be home, you have to be studying, you have to stay home. Like, that's just how we were raised. So they knew I was innocent in all of this. Like, there was no way. Where would I see him? I didn't even have a phone. I got a phone a few weeks after, because it was also my birthday. So I didn't even have a phone at that time. So my mom and my dad also, they knew that it was just a misunderstanding. But then my Rice was not having it. So because my dad wasn't feeling well, Miss T Rice asked that we go back together with my mom and try to talk to Mrs. Rice. We go back to Mr. and Mrs. Rice home. We get there, the bags are already packed, like they are done, they are all dressed, they are about to leave. Like my Rice and her sisters, she had just given birth, so she had like 3 kids, I think. And I think she was about, how old was she? Just by judging, I think she was maybe in her 30s or so. And so it didn't even make sense to me what was going on at the time. So she and her sisters are ready to leave, and then we drive in with my mom and Mr. Rice. I saw her face. It almost like changed a little bit. Like, she wasn't as furious as she was. So we drive in. She talks to my mom. Me, I was waiting, like I was just dragging my feet. I was walking behind them. I'm using this foundation, so I'm just dragging my feet. We walk inside the house. We sit down. We get inside the house. Mr. Rice tries to explain everything, and then she sort of my Rice. She sort of like calms down, and then the situation got lighter. But at the end, I was just like, you could have just asked your husband, Kuti, who are you with? Or I saw someone getting in the car in the morning, who was it? But no, she didn't do that. I think it's also because the sisters played a part in that. You know how it is sometimes. If you are not strong, if you don't have a strong character as an individual, it's very easy, to be shaken by small things like that. So she calms down. They take the bags inside. They start talking and everything. But in my head, I'm thinking, oh, this drama, this guy needs to go back at work, but then he can't because the wife, the drama and everything. And then she doesn't say anything to me. She doesn't apologize. She doesn't apologize to my mom, because mind you, there were words that were used that I had in that argument. The few parts that I had, they were words that I heard that I cannot even repeat on this channel. There is a possibility that maybe Mr. Rice was cheating, but not with me. And I think on this day, I was just caught in between their drama. And maybe that's why the wife reacted the way she did. But I still think that she should have at least apologized to me, because I was young. I had nothing to do with whatever that was going on in their life. But anyway, that's how I got accused of dating a married man. And this guy was like old enough to be my dad at the time. There was no way, and it didn't even make sense. But anyway, people in their relationships, you can never understand it. The whole thing just died down. Nobody apologized to anyone. She just calmed down, and then they started talking about other things, and then me and my mom, we just left and we went back to our house. And from then onwards, we were never really close because things were just awkward, obviously. They did come to my dad's funeral, because my dad later on passed a couple of years later. I did see them, I did see them at my dad's funeral. But other than that, we were never that close. We just stopped visiting each other. we stopped talking really. So yeah, the drama. I honestly think if Mr. Rice was cheating, it was somebody else. And my Rice, you owe me an apology, because me, to this day, never. But anyway, it's cool. I am just going to apply my lip stain, which I think I should do off camera, because I'm sure you're all tired of seeing. I am done getting ready, and that's the story of how I got accused of dating a married man. If you enjoyed watching this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It allows us to grow as a channel, and it also allows other new people to see the video. And if you've not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.